didn't get the intro right or the transition right because I was trying to open a beer.
Oh boy. Friday, 1 p.m. He's done.
Well, I didn't really get a weekend last weekend, so I'm starting this
really?
one early.
Oh, I had a long weekend. It was very restful. What do you mean? Why was yours different?
People will get that joke eventually. This is good. Also, my favorite little local dining establishment here.
Also, the grade you got in high school for.
Which I'm wondering, did we steal this glass?
Yikes.
I don't know how Oh, they give it to you for your birthday, I think. I think that's the deal. For those wondering, this is, I showed it to Paul or whatever people watching, but this is, the important thing. So you know who else is probably drinking right now, Paul? Besides half the world.
No.
Either the people at Tile or the people at Apple who are now about to receive what Tile has just filed with Mr. EU. Or it could be Mrs. EU. I guess I shouldn't be assuming genders of the EU, but...
I think Apple's going to respond the way they did to Spotify, which is like over time they're just going to ease the stupid little restrictions and...
Yeah, once they've established, their market.
Yeah, they're a great company, those guys. So, keep supporting them, everybody.
So, anyways, for those not familiar, Tile is a company that sells tile, and you can put it on your keychain and whatever, and then you can find it. Apple is heavily rumored to be launching their own tile competitor, and magically, just through pure luck, they've now made iOS slightly less usable for a company like Tile.
Right.
Definitely not in favor of improving their own product. Surely not the case.
You're kind of underselling how terrible they are because...
a little bit?
Like things have worked a certain way for a long time, and then all of a sudden in some recent version of iOS, they started throwing up all these crazy permissions dialogues over tiles, and other similar apps. Mm-hmm. And then they keep reappearing over and over again. Meanwhile, Apple released the app that will be the basis for their own tile competitor, Find My, which is obviously an update to Find My. I think it was called Find My iPhone, Find My iPad, whatever. And that one's just on all the time by default. There's no settings. There's no permissions you have to worry about. It just comes right on. So, they're clearly engineering a thing where their user interface is way better for their own app. And, I'm sure it's a complete coincidence, but Tile products are obviously very successful and popular, and Apple stopped selling them in their retail and online stores because, they got their own thing coming in. Yeah. No reason to give the competitor a leg up.
No. So, if you're a hardware company and you're playing in somebody else's waters and, they change the seas on you, I couldn't really figure out that analogy as it was rolling out of my head. But yeah, that's the way it is. Same with you put something on Amazon and Amazon's like, oh, that sells pretty well. We should sell that too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, it's an Amazon Basics all of a sudden, and it costs $2 instead of 24 or whatever. I told you this, right? During the pandemic, when it first started, Amazon started announcing that non-essential items would be delayed for shipping because they wanted to make sure that they were getting, food out and things like that. And somebody discovered, and I verified that it was true, that if the item you wanted was not essential, but there was an Amazon Basics version of it, that one was always available. You could always get it next day.
Again, coincidence.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I know these big companies, they're all about humanity and ethics and doing the right thing. So,
speaking of things getting delivered, my wife's Mother's Day present arrived yesterday, right on time. Worked out well.
Almost in time for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Which I'm amused to discover we still celebrate.
She brought it to me. She's like, I think this is my gift. I'm like, oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
And this was, what was this, headphones? Or
they were AirPod Pros is what they were.
Yeah.
She hasn't decided if she's going to keep them yet or not, but.
Really? How come?
I don't know. I mean, I got them for her so she can go running and do all that stuff, and she's just, unlike us, Paul, who gets new toy and rips it open. She's just like, hey.
Oh, I know. No, I spent, $1,400, but it was, I got $700 off because I had a trade-in, but that Samsung Galaxy, whatever it's called, S20 Ultra 5G 0.5 SP2, whatever the hell it was. When I finished up with it, I was like, I said to my wife, your phone's getting kind of old. You might want to just take this. And she's like, oh, that's a really good idea. And then 2 months went by.
Yeah,
Anyway, she did make the switch.
Okay.
But yeah, but with complete lack of enthusiasm. But now that she has it, she's actually really happy about it because the pictures it takes are unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So she got that eagle shot, for example, with that long lens, long zoom lens, whatever. Nice.
Yeah. So speaking of, as I keep using that as a transition point. So my wife, whatever, we bought her the iPhone 11 the non-pro version for, was it Christmas or whatever holiday it was. And I didn't realize how bad the camera is on the XS until I saw her photos, and I was like, ooh, like they really did screw up the camera on the XS. They really, really did.
That was part of the reason I stopped using the OnePlus 8 Pro, because she's made that switch right as I was using that. And her pictures were routine. Like we would take pictures of some of the same things, or basically the same things. Like her pictures were routinely like way better than mine.
Yeah.
And so that's unacceptable.
We planted hydrangeas out in front of our house. Like we did a big like garden overhaul in front of our house. Anyways, planted hydrangeas, and they're blooming, and they have these huge, like gorgeous, almost like softball sized blooms. They're really pretty. And like she was taking pictures of them. Like, all right, let me just see how that looks good. I took them I was like, oh, it's like not even close. It's not even. It's.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm sure you'll be paying attention to what Apple announces in September or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly that. Other things that are being announced. Sony announced a PlayStation 5 event for, I think, next week. Although it, again, doesn't sound like they're going to be talking hardware. It sounds like it's going to be an all games thing, at least what the initial word is. So,
yeah, although I'm going to write this up when we're done here, but they also said that they have started manufacturing the console.
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting. It's not even June. So
pretty sure Xbox has, though, too.
You think so? I'm surprised. This seems like the type of thing they should announce.
I'm almost positive. Positive that they have.
Yeah. So this is not in their blog post about the event that you just mentioned. This is something they said to at least the Financial Times. I'm still looking around. I got to figure out where this came from, but they do plan. They said they're going to have a global launch this year. So maybe this is the time they need to get enough in the in the channel or whatever.
So. I mean, you know this as well, too, but like in manufacturing has so many different things. Like these are probably just pre-production units. It's like, okay, does the thing come down the line? Does it work? Is the chip getting attached correctly? That takes a few weeks. Then they start trying to do high volume. Is the high volume reading enough yield? Are there any issues? And then before you, you think about it, if they have, let's say 5-6 weeks of testing still ahead of them, that puts them like to mid-August.
Yep.
Before they can even start producing. And then... Yeah.
Probably October, maybe even November.
Something like that. You can get a couple 100,000 of them built, shipped, delivered on retail shelves. I mean, that's quite the fiasco.
Well, I got to tell you, this is one thing I don't care about. So I don't care how much they make. I'm not buying one. So
he says that until the Call of Duty starts hitting their.
I know. That was
So that was the big news from the Sony camp a few hours ago.
Yeah, Microsoft has a new version of their dashboard because it's another month.
I was going to say Tuesday. I assume it's Tuesday. It's whatever today is.
It's like, I mean, let me go look at what they wrote. It's like every time I see this, it's like, May 2020 Xbox One update introduces simpler guide, and it's like. You have written this headline 15 times.
Yep.
It's like, whatever.
Not much is changing there. Although I will tell you, so they did announce there's a new VR headset from HP. Yeah. Vaguely interested in the G2 VR, whatever it's called, only because I'm waiting for that day to come to when that screen door effect is gone from VR headsets. And that's when I will go out and buy another one. And it's only going to happen with higher and higher resolution. So I'm curious to see how close this actually gets, because this is, again, I think the highest resolution headset that will be available. So,
yeah, I haven't really followed this very well, but off the top of my head, I want to say there was a kind of a mid-gen update that did like 1440p basically. Does that sound right? And then whatever this is. So
I think these are 4K.
4K. Okay. Yeah. I will have a chance to test this product. Not super
2K.
interested in
2160 by 2160 per eye.
2160. So Huh, what do you call that?
It's not
I
quite
mean,
2K. It's like,
yeah, like right. It's the other side of
yep.
the 1440. 1440p is usually 2160 by 1440, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think. 4K is what, 3840 by anyone? 2160 maybe?
Something like
So
that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It's around there. Whatever. It's the highest resolution that you can get.
2560 by 1440. I'm sorry. Yeah, so the 2160 might be like the squared part of 4K or whatever. Well, anyway, whatever it is, it's definitely an improvement. I like so. I don't really Windows virtual reality doesn't do a lot for me, but or mixed reality, whatever we're calling it. I would like to play the Half-Life game though.
Yeah. Alex or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that might be worth just for that.
Well, the best thing to do, at least in my opinion, with the VR is to get the universe sandbox, and then you can go look at all the planets and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I look at this with some amount of enthusiasm.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much
I
as
don't
I
know
can
when
drum up.
did they say when it's coming out?
I don't remember.
You can pre-order it now. Oh, in the fall. So
Oh, really? That long away? Ooh.
Yeah, it's not right around the corner by any means.
Well, that's interesting. I wonder. I wonder if it's tied to something.
Yeah, is there like a specific Windows
Will
release?
be a 20H2 update that will improve that or something. They haven't really talked about Windows mixed reality in a while.
Did they had that VR day thing right before build?
Did they still do it though?
I don't know. I can't remember if they did or not.
I think I bet they didn't because it was going to be like an in-person event, and I want to say the day that this headset thing you're referring to was like first unveiled might have been tied to when that event was going to happen. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I'll find out soon. I'll let you know what I find out. I guess I'm a little curious.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do this weekend, Paul?
What you hoped to do last weekend and nothing?
No, this one actually is a little bit more pressing maybe. So I need to fix my car. This is going to be. So
I need to fix my tooth.
Well, I can't help you there.
I had a filling fallout last night.
In my car, the HVAC blower stopped working, so no heat, no AC.
I feel like did you have an AC thing before that or maybe you just fixed by putting Freon in it or something?
We got a new AC unit, but that was on our house. So the blower fan stopped working.
Yeah.
And kind of need that, like many months of the year. And I really don't want to go buy a new car right now or a car in general. So I'm going to try to, I got the replacement unit. It looks like it's relatively easy to pop out. I got to take the glove box out and pop like 2 panels out. Then it's 3 screws and a plug and it goes back up in there, and let's just hope it works.
You're unbelievable. I mean that mostly in a good way in this case.
Yeah. It was $100 part. If it doesn't work out, then I'll be upset. Yeah. But I'm hoping that I can invest the $100 into keeping this thing alive for a few more months before having to go buy some sort of mode of transportation.
You can get an electric bike.
Yeah, the problem is I can't really take my kid to school. I mean, I guess I could take her to school on that.
Could be hilarious. You could have one of those little hoo-ha horns on the front, those comical clown horns.
Well, I mean, and the other question is like, does my kid even have school in the fall? To which my response is, my kid is getting dropped off at school, whether or not it's open coming this fall.
Yeah. I hope my kid has school. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
My daughter had her wisdom teeth removed yesterday, so she came back higher than a kite, which was hilarious on one level. But
yes.
And then later in the day, I knocked a filling out of a molar.
Oh.
And I was like, I said, Kelly, I was upset that you were getting all the attention for your dental problem, so I decided to invent one of my own. And then she said, did you get the filling? And I said, no, I'll just get it in the morning. So it took her a second because, again, she was half high at the time. And then she was like, oh. And I'm like, no, I'm not. So I called the dentist, and this is what 21st century healthcare looks like in the pandemic. They're not opening their office until the 15th now, and because they don't have enough of the masks or whatever it is, the personal protection stuff. So she told me I could go to CVS and you buy this thing in a bottle and it's kind of temporary and you can just pop it in there and it will protect the tooth or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you just tell me to go myself? Like, what are you kidding me? That's the answer.
Yeah, just gargle a little whiskey. You'll be all right. I mean,
Just don't eat anything hard. Don't
yeah, that's
chew hard candy on that side of your mouth, I guess.
yeah, that's terrible. I don't know.
Yes.
I have no words of sympathy or humor. Just
I can feel it. It's
yeah.
like
Then
hard.
the problem is you can't stop playing with it.
I know. I don't want this. I don't want it to be like this.
Oh, what else is going on in the free world? That's kind of really about it. It has been a relatively slow week.
Which, honestly, after last week, I kind of needed.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, there's not. I wouldn't say there's anything major going on. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, curious about the 8 GB Raspberry Pi. I guess kind of a little geeky nerdness to that. I don't know.
Almost done with my dinner, which is, that's life, right?
Yep.
So, all right, folks. Well, we got nothing else. There is not a whole lot going on. Next week actually should be decently interesting to see whatever Sony does. Right. Microsoft should be, I think, announcing more stuff next month in June, because it is weird that's June and I'm supposed to actually be on a beach right now and I'm not, which is also making me angry. But yeah, we'll catch all of you right back here probably Monday, I guess.
Yeah, Monday's not a holiday, is it? It should be.
Should be, but it's not. Could be.
Yeah.